Okay. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining my little overview about electronic shelf labels and how we managed to display 25 million prices across the globe. I hope it's fine that I do it in English, because I'm not sure if some foreign colleagues are attending. Great. Okay, so then let's start. My name is Marius. I'm the project manager for the electronic shelf label project at ALDI. I'm working in the international IT department. And yeah, some of you might know ALDI. So we are the discounter located in 11 countries with a number of round about 7,200 stores and a grand total of 180,000 employees. 3,500 of which are located in our headquarters at Mülheim an der Ruhr, and yeah, where I'm actually also based. So before I start with, let's say, how the data is traveling to our electronic shelf labels, I will give a quick overview what ESLs are actually in terms of the technology. So as the name already explains a little bit, yeah, electronic shelf labels, digital price tags, which will replace our glorious good old paper price strips, and they are around about the same size, so you might not even notice that we digitalized the price tags in your favorite Aldi store. And the labels come with some major advantages, the biggest of which is the time saving, because electronic shelf labels, once they are matched with an article, are fully automatically updating everything. And if you imagine that we have up to 150 price changes per day in a store and the store employees have to replace it all manually, that saves really a big amount of time. So how do we get to 25 million? Each store has about 3,500 ESLs, and times 7,200, we approach roughly 25 million labels. So you might ask yourself, okay, how difficult can it be to throw some data on some price tags? We actually thought the same at the beginning, and boy, did we realize that it's more complex than we thought. So what I would like to show you is how we do it at ALDI Süd, and what are actually the challenges which we came across, so that at the end you have an overview about how the things are working. So I would like to take you on a journey of data traveling through our systems, and we will start with the source of data. We have two sources in our legacy world. The main source is called Merchandise Management System, and from there we get all the article master data. Yeah, so the name, the price, but also which article is on promotion in the next week, for example. And then we have a second part, which is the store level, because we have a very important marketing tool for the store managers called the local price changes. And these local price changes allow the store employees to change prices for each article individually. Yeah, so they are especially using it for produce items, for example, fruit and vegetables. If the strawberries don't sell out in the afternoon, they will reduce it. So whenever you would like to buy cheap fruits and vegetables, do it in the late afternoon. So now we have our two sources of data, and in order to bring the data onto the labels, we have a software as a service middleware, which we get from our vendor. And we now had to basically provide this software as a service with the data from our source systems. So what we did is we developed a middleware. And while doing that, we realized, okay, we need a lot of specific logics for these electronic shelf labels, because our system landscape in the legacy world is not tailored to handle electronic shelf labels. So we had to add some logics. And I picked out the three most important ones of it. The first one is the price prioritization. Yeah, we have prices coming from the promotion side. We have local price changes. So all comes together in the middleware, and we have to actually say, okay, these are the actual valid prices. And we have the comparison price calculation, which is the, if something is on promotion, this crossed out price at the top. This is bound to some very specific European laws. For example, in the European Union, we have the rule that this comparison price must be the lowest price of the last 30 days. So we have to calculate all this before sending it down to the middleware, to the software as a service. And the third one is we had to integrate a data pull mechanism, because that hadn't existed before. And then we also have a second layer. So we have a big transformation project ongoing, which is the AHEAD project, where we move everything to SAP. So for some stores in some countries, we have the situation that we get the data from SAP already. And this means that we had to also implement this. And the special case is that the SAP side doesn't get these local price changes because it's simply not necessary so far to have them in the central site. So what we are doing is we are fetching those local price changes, and we are actually saying, hey, SAP, please send us the price card for this 199 which the store has set. So we get the entire price cards from SAP because all the calculation logics are moving towards this SAP side. And maybe there is an infrastructure or a software architect around you which might already see that at some point in time we could potentially replace this middleware and directly send the data further down. So this construct of this middleware came across with some significant challenges. First of all, we really underestimated how difficult it would be. Yeah, we thought, okay, we need to collect the data, we need to send it down, but we had to spend a considerable effort in managing all these special cases, implementing all these rules. We had to really ramp up our developers massively to be able to integrate all this in this middleware. And also we had the scalability effects. Yeah, our project timeline was very ambitious. So in 3 years we rolled out these ESLs to all 7,200 stores. So if you imagine this, for example, comparison price calculation where you have to find the price of the last 30 days for each article, which is affected by a price change, this adds a lot of calculation effort into this middleware. And we really were chasing the performance in order to be still within our target. And we achieved that by also a close monitoring. So we had some thresholds. Whenever something is breached, we checked it and we made sure that everything is still running. And one thing which we actually cannot change is that we have big dependencies. So this is the very last mile of data. Yeah, so we get all the data from systems before, and whenever there is a typo, for example, it will directly be displayed on the label. If there is data missing, it can be that the whole label is not displayed correctly. So everything has direct impact on our side, and that's actually the thing which we are not able to change. But I don't want to sound too negative. We managed it very well. So right now everything is working as expected. We are almost fully rolled out. And what happens now, and the thing I would also like to quickly cover, is how do we actually render the labels. So now we have all the data, like the brand, the name, and everything. But this template has to work for each and every article. So whatever data we get, it always has to look great and legally compliant. So it's fully dynamic. What I mean by that is if you have the name, for example, the Chardonnay Blanc, if it's longer than that, what happens or what should happen? Should we shrink the font size or should we add a line break? But if we add a line break, then all other fields have to move further down. So it's kind of complex, and we have some special cases for the countries. For example, in Germany, we have a promotion which says, okay, if you buy the full crate of Riesling, it's cheaper, so everything has to move to the left, and you have to add an additional data layer with all the promotion prices. In the US, in the middle, there is a warning for many articles because everything is dangerous in the US. And on the right side, you have the Australian label where it's a mandatory regulation by law to display a kangaroo item when an article is from Australia with the process, with a percentage bar, how many % of this article is actually from Australia. So quite some special cases here. And these templates are in some countries up to 1,000 lines of code because it's so complex to make it work whenever or with whatever data we get, that it's also a very challenging topic. But as I said, everything is working great. So our current status is we just hit the magical milestone of 7,000 stores. So we are round about 97% rolled out. We plan to finish the rollout within the next weeks. And it doesn't stop there, actually. So when we are rolled out, we also have some very cool future use cases. For example, we want to rebuild this middleware to make it more clean and lean. We are also working with third-party applications or third-party providers. For example, if you have an app which says find my product, you can click on it and then the label LED is flashing to indicate where in the store your product is. And we also are trialing a second display for employees, which is like when the store closes, it can display different data, like for example, the stock information or other info, which is useful for the store employees. So very interesting. And due to the time limits, I'm already done. If you have questions to the project, or if you say, hey, I also want to work on such cool projects at ALDI Süd, then visit our booth. We are there for your questions. And with that said, thank you very much for your attention and have a nice day.